To set up a website online, you need to have a web host and you need to have a domain registrar. I recommend you use a separate web host and registrar for security reasons. And if you want to know my recommended web host and registrar, the ones I'm using for my own sites that I'm using in this course and outside this course, then look for the bonus lecture at the very end of this course and I'll tell you what they are. And the process of ordering a domain and through your domain registrar and linking it to your web host can seem a little bit confusing to people when they're first starting out, but it's essentially very easy. You order the website through the domain registrar and then you change a setting inside your domain registrar called the DNS so that the DNS point to your web host, and your web host will give you the DNS to insert. So all you need to do is get the email from your web host, look for your DNS numbers, and then insert them into the registrar, and the two will be linked. Then once they're linked, you can go to your host and you can create an add-on domain for the website and then install WordPress on the add-on domain, and I'll show you the process. But be aware that the point of this course is not to teach you how to install WordPress. I've actually got another course for that. And also the other thing to bear in mind is if you want to set up a website like this and you don't want to have to go through and order web hosting because that is a monthly charge, you can install WordPress locally, and I'd recommend you check out my Install WordPress Locally course if you're interested in doing that, because you can save on the web hosting fees until you're ready for your site to go live. So just quickly, in the rest of this tutorial, I'm going to get the domain, link it to my web host, and then just install WordPress quickly. So by the end of this tutorial, we'll have a working WordPress installation on my web host. Now to do that, the first step is to go over to my domain registrar, which I'm using Namecheap, and I can go to the domains registration. I'm going to open it in a new window. Okay, and then if we click on that, we can type in fishyfats.com. Now, I've got to admit, I've already bought the domain. I bought it earlier and the recorder didn't work on my computer. So when we do the search, you'll see that it is already bought, but I'll show you what to do for a domain that isn't. Okay, so fishyfats.com, it says make an offer. Well, actually that's mine and it's not open to offers, but it does tell me the other domains here. And essentially all you do is you go and click the add to cart button and then go through the process of buying your domain. As I said, I've already done that. So the next step for me is to change the DNS servers in this Namecheap to point to my web hosting. So within Namecheap now, I want to go over to my username up here, manage domains. Click on that. And I need to find the domain in this list. These are some of my other domains which I've got blocked out from view, but you can see Fishyfats there, sorry, not Fishyfacts. I'm going to click on it. And then I'm going to look in the general menu here for transfer DNS to web host. It's this second item. So just click on that, and then we've got the option here of using Namecheap hosting DNS if you're hosting with Namecheap. I'm not. I'm hosting with StableHost, and my DNS is ns1stablehost.com and ns2 stablehost. Spelled that wrong, so I need to go back and make sure it's right. Stablehost.com. Now you get your DNS from your web host. Okay, these are the ones that I've been given, so all I need to do is save that now. And domain name servers updated. So now the domain registrar is talking to my web host. So that's all I need to do on the domain registrar side. I am now logged into my StableHost account, but at the moment, while the domain registrar is trying to talk to StableHost, StableHost doesn't understand it because StableHost doesn't know anything about that domain. So I need to scroll down here until I get to domains, and I need to add on a domain. So click on add on domains, and all I need to do is fill in fishyfats.com. I don't need to put the HTTP in, and if you do try and do that, you'll probably get an error. And you can see the rest of this is all filled out for me. I don't need to touch anything. Basically, the site will be installed in a folder called public HTML fishyfats.com, or at least that's the server space that StableHost is assigning to it. Now, if you're familiar with subdomains, you might be worried that this says subdomain here, fishyfats.com. Don't worry, it's actually within the StableHost package, it's a subdomain off of your main domain, but it won't appear as a subdomain on the web. To go to my website, I'll be going to fishyfats.com, so don't worry about that. Do you need to create an FTP account associated with the domain? Well, you might want to. I don't, because I have a master FTP that gets me into all of my web hosting space, and so I don't need one specifically for this. So I'm just going to click on Add Domain, and then this prepares the web space for my website. It will create the fishyfats.com folder, and it will put in there a parked page. So if we go to fishyfats.com, we'll see a StableHost parked page, and we'll have a look at that in a moment when this is finished. Okay, add-on domain fishyfats.com has been created. So if we go to fishyfats.com, we may see the parked page. We might not yet, because sometimes it takes several hours for the domain registrar and the web host to start being synced. But there you can see we are actually inside now fishyfats.com, inside the folder. And so because we've got that, we're actually now ready to install WordPress. And that's going to be a quick job as well. I'm going to scroll to the bottom of my hosting, and you see Softaculous App Installer. I'm going to click on WordPress. And you can see here, it's going to install WordPress for me. Down below here are some other installations I've got, but I'm not interested in that. I'm just interested in clicking on the install button, and I need to select the fishyfats.com domain from here. Okay, HTTP, that's fine. In directory, I want to remove that because I want the homepage of the site to be fishyfats.com, not fishyfats.com/something else. Table prefix, I recommend you change that to something other than WP, just because it will be the default used by most WordPress sites, and then hackers have an unfair advantage. So I'm going to just change that and scroll down a little bit more, and I'm going to just put in a title of fishyfats. And just put a site description for now. It's not that important because it can be changed later. And then it's username and password, and I'm going to put in a different email address there. So I'm going to change the username, I'm going to change the password, I'm going to put in an email address, and I'm going to click on limit login attempts. This stuff down here, I'm not actually going to change any of that. In fact, I have decided to change one of these. I'm going to set backup to once a month, and backup rotation set as 4. These were inside the advanced options, just so that it backs up once a month and it will keep the last 4 updates for me. Now, I actually install a plugin that's going to send me backups anyway, but there's no harm in being extra careful. The other thing you can do is have WordPress auto upgrade, plugins auto upgrade, and themes auto upgrade. I'm going to leave that all disabled for now, and I'm going to just click install. And then this literally will take seconds. I'll leave it running in real time so you can see how fast it is. It tends to speed up now. Here we go. And that now has been installed. So if we go over to fishyfats.com, we should find that we've got a WordPress site. There we go. And it's ready to start work on it. Now, as I said, this course is not about installing WordPress, so I've gone through that really quickly. If you have any trouble, you can contact me in the discussion area of this course, and I will help you install WordPress if you need help, or point you in the direction of my other course, which is specifically about installing WordPress on web hosts, or installing WordPress on your local site, so you can actually build the site locally before you have to go with the expense of a WordPress host. But for now, that's it. We've got the website domain ordered, we've got it connected to StableHost, and we've installed WordPress.